Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm checking with my phone, and I need to post on Discord and on X. So please wait. Hello. Hmm. Seems like it's okay. Okay, so I just checked the Discord. Okay. Yeah. I will send the link. Please wait for a while. I'll start soon. Okay. So, uh, yeah. So this is the second live stream and of Shogi Wars. Mm. And the last time, 5 hours ago, I did my first live stream and played the various openings. And today, so since this is the second time, I want to fix the opening. Mm. So yes, I will play only static rook today. Mm. Yes. So this is my page. So I will just play 10 minutes. Mm. And after the game, I will just do the quick analysis, but not a deep explanation. I just play many games. Hmm. Thank you. Hello. I just checked the screen. It seems good. Today I just play Static Rook. Hmm. Maybe fixing the opening is easier to watch because if I play many openings like the first time, it's a little difficult to understand. Hmm. And I should have pushed the pawn earlier. So now this is probably Gangi game. It's likely to be Yaguda versus Gangi. So the silver's position is important. My formation depends on the silver positions. He's probably going for a kind of Migishken, I think. And I'm saying if he goes up the bishop here, then it's likely to be a kind of Migishken, I think. So in the static rook game, I will play Gangi, Bishop exchange, Kakugawari, and Yokofudori and Aigakari. It depends on the opponent's style. So now it will be a matter of speed. So usually, for Gangi side, it's not easy to defend against the attack from Migishken. He chose Migishken. He could have played the static rook, stayed the rook on static rook was also possible, but he chose Migishken. Only this pawn is unusual. Usually the pawn stays here if he wants to play Migishken and jump the knight here later. But now the pawn is already pushed, and I think it will make some important difference. So this is a good example. So Migishken is a strong attack, so I don't just wait. I always start attacking by this move. Please remember this attack. And getting one pawn here is very important. One pawn here means if the bishop escapes, then I can exchange the pawn, and with one pawn in hand, it will be very easy to do a counter attack against Migishiken. So in the middle to end game, I can't read the comment, but yes, without a pawn, it works. So today I will play only static rook, but the various strategy with the static rook, not only Kakugawari or Yagura only. So after the bishop goes up, I think it goes up. Then the rook comes here. But I'm thinking just the rook here, or already attack the knight's head, which is very effective. But just the rook seems enough. So this rook's position is very annoying for the opponent. It's not easy to chase this rook. It seems like it will be trapped soon, but it's not easy. And I always have the knight's head attack here with my pawn. Now I think I can just take this pawn, but he will take with the knight and I take the bishop, and he will take back with the pawn, so I think this kind of move is good here. He should promote and drop the pawn here or jump the knight, but jumping the knight is also scary for him, I think. Now there's a pawn here, so I think I can take the pawn. Or just push the pawn to 7-5 even now. If I have something I can drop here, so I want to take the pawn, but not so clear, so maybe this is better. He takes and I take with the silver, and I don't know how he continues. He can't sacrifice many pieces. There are already a weakness here.
7分
I want to bring the rook again here. And since the rook is here, when I take the pawn, the bishop exchange always happens, so I want to bring the rook here and the bishop exchange and drop the bishop here. If I go the rook to 2-7, 8-3 perhaps, then the pawn will be dropped here. This is also possible, but I want to bring the rook directly to this file. Maybe he should jump the knight, but it weakens the castle a lot. The next move, I can take the pawn and exchange the bishop, which seems very severe attack. This shows why the knight jump I played earlier is very effective against this castle. I think this rook position is very annoying for him. I think I can take. And just dropping the bishop to 2-2, or if there's more stronger attack, I'm thinking about dropping to 3-7. Just to drop 8-8 here is an option. Escaping the silver is also okay, but I think this is the strongest attack. I want to drop a gold there. If I drop the bishop here, the king escapes and I promote the bishop, and so it's Gote's turn. It's Gote's turn to attack, but now I think I don't give him the timing to do a counter attack. If he takes with the silver, then the knight promotion or non-promotion, both are very strong. It's a threat mate already, so he should take with the rook, but so now promote or non-promoted both is strong, and this is too strong. Okay, and he resigned. So let me move on to the analysis. Hook is a hook master. Hook is a arm wrestling word. The way of attacking. My hobby is arm wrestling. If I play this move, then it will be probably the Kakugawari bishop exchange game. But I chose Gangi in this game. And he chose Migishken. If he play if he just jumps the knight here, then it's a different game. But I think I will start attacking the same way, maybe. Or waiting few moves, and when he started attacking this way, then I will also do a counter attack this way. And it's just an equal game, I think. It was possible staying the rook here. Mm. And he did play the Migishken. Mm. Yes, after pawn to 8-5. This is a little unusual, and it makes a great difference. The bishop isn't in 8-8, so. And also the attack on the knight's head, like the actual game, is strong. And always in this position, when this pawn is pushed and the knight is jumped, this always works. Even if the bishop goes back, I can exchange the pawn. So just briefly, I'm explaining the detail in my video course. So the rook will not die. This is just an example. Just a pawn drop was also possible, I think. Maybe I will go back the rook here. And since there's always a pawn drop here, it's difficult to do this kind of attack. I will just take or push the pawn here and get maybe two more pawns and drop here. This is annoying for. So he wanted to cover the weakness, but I think this was good. Please write on the comment if you have any questions. And now since the rook is here, if I take this pawn, it will be a bishop exchange, and if I escape the silver, the knight will just be taken, or the bishop here could happen. So when I take the pawn, I need to give up this silver, so I need a strong attack. This seems natural, but he can also take. I think this is a little slow. I need to take the knight and promote the pawn and take the gold, so he can play 3 attacking moves. It starts from this move, for example. If the gold escapes, then the pawn drop here. I didn't want to play this position, so I drop the bishop and sacrifice, and drop the gold here and promote the token and promote the rook. This is faster. It doesn't matter if I give one more bishop. It's a matter of speed, so not the material. If the rook takes, then so the rook's position changed, so my king also became safe. Here I can take the knight and drop here, or just to promote the rook. If he takes the knight, then this ote or the token. Both is possible. I think just the token is enough. And the actual game he took with the silver. And this is a straight mate and also the rook. So kind of fork. Hmm. So I think this was a good example of the power of this attack, not jump. Hmm. One last thing. So this position is also good. The knight will never die, simply. The gold can't escape here because of the pawn promotion. It will just be an exchange of, sorry, knight. Hmm. And the opponent got one more pawn, but the bishop's diagonal is closed. I have the attack on the knight's head, like this, on the next move, and also the knight isn't here. The castle is weaker, so this position is also good for me. Hmm. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Hmm. So let's move on to the next game. So it's early in the morning in Japan, so I think there are more people than the midnight. Ah, sorry, I didn't. I couldn't cover your comment. おはようございます。Sorry, I'm checking the comment on my phone, so he won 20 games in a row, so he's a Q player, but maybe a high down player. Not maybe, surely. So this is a strategy called Murata system. A sort of Ureshino Ryu or Shodan system. This is also called. And the idea is usually yes, advancing the silver like this or pushing the central pawn earlier. If the silver goes up, I want to set the rook on the 5th rank. Ah, sorry, I didn't switch. But still, it's in the early in the opening. I want to force to go back the silver. So he want to play Ginkamuri shape. Now already it's a difficult position. It doesn't mean I'm bad, but he will go up the silver and push the pawn. this game will be a slow game. So it's kind of Ureshino but completely different. He just went up the server and played slowly. The problem for me is that the opponent's Bishop's Diagonal is always open. If he pushes this pawn, I will push the pawn here. But yet it's a little annoying that I found something I should really care about, but now I'm reading until the end the game, and I don't think I'm really bad in that position, but there could be something I don't see yet. I think it will be just a slow game with this pawn. There's not a very severe attack yet, I think. He could probably push the pawn and advance the silver here and the fork. I will explain later. But he didn't do that. This is natural. Again, it's difficult here how to play. I want to jump the knight, but the knight's head is weak.
7分
Just dropping the pawn is possible, but seems a little defensive. But I need to do that, I think. I want to push the pawn, but the silver goes up and again, it's difficult, always difficult. I need to concentrate now. Now it didn't make a big difference. So I want to exchange the pawn first.
5分
I don't know if it's correct. So my attacking shape is also ready, so I think it's not so bad for me, the position. I want to push the pawn here and drop the pawn here. Already dropped the pawn here. Difficult decision. So I want to drop the pawn here, but maybe he will go back the king, I think. Now I don't know what he is aiming for. Going back the king seemed natural, but he want to jump the knight. Maybe I should give up this pawn. The knight jump seems too fast. I don't want to do this, but I couldn't find anything better. Now I should find something severe here. I should continue the attack since there's already the weakness. I should always continue the attack. But it's a little difficult.
3分。
I need to escape the king somewhere. There was a knight drop and the rook drop. But the situation is bad. I don't have any attack on the opponent's king and
2分30秒。
the pawn drop here probably.
2分
It's natural to just sacrifice the dragon and take the bishop, but um, I don't know if it was a good move. I don't know. He will just take and take the bishop, and maybe he can drop the knight there, so maybe he thought it's better. Just taking the gold was also good, but he'll probably drop the knight here, and I'll escape the silver here. Ah, he wanted to do this. And swing over the rook here. Ah, now I understand what he wanted to do. So usually I need to resign here, but yes, I will play until the end. Just a fork or the promotion. I should drop the rook, but just taking and dropping somewhere, or taking the horse and drop the bishop here.
1分30秒
So this game, the opponent was just stronger, and he had more experience. Okay, I resign. Until here, I usually play this position. Seems like it's a little early to push the pawn here. And he didn't go up the silver yet, so this is what he was. What is a little special. I've never played against this strategy. So usually the silver is already here, so he will just create a kind of gangi shape, but now the silver can go up here and it will be a ginkamuri shape. I wanted to push the pawn earlier, maybe I should have done that. But he can just go back to silver, or I was afraid of this move. If I exchange the bishop, he can just take the rook. If I take the silver, I can create the token, but the rook here is also fast. If I go back the rook, he can just take the pawn. So I didn't have the correct timing to push the pawn. Maybe here I should have pushed the pawn. Maybe. If the silver takes, then I push the pawn here. Maybe there's nothing, so I should have pushed the pawn sometime earlier. Probably now. But he will just go back, and this is an equal game, but and I was also afraid of this attack, which sometimes appears in the Gangi game. Sorry. Silver sacrifice. The rook comes here. I can protect with the silver here and going back the gold, or this is a little risky, so I saw this move in this position, and I couldn't find anything scary for me in this position, so so I chose this. Maybe there's nothing, I think, but still a little dangerous still. For example, the bishop drop here. If I jump the knight, the rook comes here. I can take the gold, but the pawn drop here is strong, so this kind of attack was also scary. I didn't know exactly how to play, but just safely he went back the silver. I didn't want to drop the pawn here. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Exchanging the pawn. So I wanted to exchange the pawn, but mm, in this kind of position here or here, mm, I wasn't sure if I am getting advantage or not. I thought that I want to jump the knight, so I should keep the opponent's bishop's position. And here probably I should have jumped the no, go up the silver to 7-6 to prevent the attack. Or just the pawn drop, which I wasn't sure. Maybe I should have done this because the actual game I was too defensive. The pawn push here. If the bishop comes here, then this attack is strong. So this is good for me. The bishop will go up and I wasn't sure what to do. I can push the pawn and go up the silver here and push the pawn like this. So maybe here he will drop the pawn here. The bishop goes back. And even against this, I wasn't very sure if I'm good or not. Just a pawn drop here. But it seems not so bad. So maybe I should have played this way. Yes, here the pawn drop here and the pawn push to 5-5. I should have played. There's a weakness here, so I wasn't sure if it's good. So I played this move, but it was a bad move. I wanted to jump the knight here and prevent the bishop here, but then, for example, here I can't jump the knight, so the pawn to h6 isn't so strong in this position. If I can jump the knight, it's a little different, but so the pawn push, the worst move in this game was the pawn push. And I didn't see this attack is already very strong. If I take with the pawn, the knight will jump here and the knight jumps here. There are too many weaknesses, so I couldn't choose this. Probably I should have taken, but it was really difficult. But the time is always an issue, but the biggest problem is that I didn't have the experience of this kind of game against Ginkamuri. And I should have dropped the pawn here. Then at least it wasn't a one-side game. So after that, he played very correctly. Here it's almost over from Against a strong player, it's almost over. I have no attack. I attacked somehow, but everything failed. But I can't play slow. There's a big disadvantage here, so I didn't see this attack. Mm, the position is a little unusual. He already has one pawn here, and mm, so yes, this game he was very strong. Mm, maybe a strong amateur or a Shoreikai player, I think. Since the bishop needs to be on an open diagonal, but for me, just a gangi is just normal, and the opponent stayed a bit silver in 3-1, which is mm, I didn't play so much. Mm. So you mean the pawn drop wasn't good? I agree. Maybe but it was difficult that position. I need to read deeply to judge whether keeping the bishop's diagonal open or not. I didn't have time, so it's just a matter of experience. So maybe it will be a bishop exchange game this game. So again, I should switch. Okay. I will try a quick attack first. If he goes up the king and goes up the gold here, then I will not try. Still, I could have launched the attack, but so this is a little unusual, but I have an idea. So I will explain later. So if I just go up the gold to 4-8, which is a usual shape, then the fork here, I was afraid of the fork, so I went up the gold here. a Tsugifu game, Tsugifu technique. I don't know what, how to say in English. He's thinking. So now it's clear why I played go to 3-8. He can extend the silver here, and if the gold is in 4-8, he could immediately drop the silver here. So Who doesn't really have a good trust. I think so. He can't take because of the fork with the rook. Maybe he will just play slowly. Drop the pawn here. I go back to silver and exchange the pawn here with the rook and go back here. And I take the pawn and drop the pawn here. This is just a slow game. This is more violent game. You just need to go back the rook and drop the pawn to 8-8. Now my king's position isn't good. It's too close to the attack from the opponent. So this is my problem. So he used 2 pawns, and that means he wants to drop the bishop here. I can already drop the silver here, but since I got 1 more pawn, just going back the rook seems enough. I think I don't really need to attack soon. The silver drop I wanted to play, but so if he has 2 pawns, the pawn drop here I take with the knight, and the pawn drop here again will be strong, but he already used 1 pawn, so there isn't such kind of attack. So my king's shape seems very weak, but it's a balanced shape. The king can go both to the right side and to the left side, so not a very bad shape. But what to play on the next move is difficult for me and for the opponent as well. This was a little scary. I think I can just play naturally and not a bad position, I believe. But after the silver drop here, I need to think. I want to go back to gold, but I need to think if it's okay. So the next move, the silver drop or the knight promotion to 3-3 is strong. I can take the silver with the rook. The silver drop is scary, but I go back the gold once. He already dropped the pawn here, so he can't block my rook with the pawn. The pawn to a8 is also scary here. If I take with the gold, he takes the knight and drop the knight here. So I should ignore. So now it's a difficult position. Dropping the silver or promoting the knight. This seems better. So after getting one knight, and when the opponent's king escapes to 5-1 to 6-2, then there will be a knight drop here. And the knight promotion was also possible. So let's see. After the pawn promotion, there's knight drop here. If the rook goes up, then the bishop drop here will be a fork. So it is not easy to defend. And there's no threat mate against this king. So maybe the position is better for me. If the rook goes up here, then the bishop drop here. I mean, for the double threat mate, and I think there's no... it's impossible to defend. Seems like this position is good for me. It's difficult. There's no good place for the rook to escape. If the rook comes here, then I drop the bishop or maybe bishop. Resigned. There were no good place to escape the rook. It was a good example, I think. So against this kind of move here, I can already start the attack like this. I'm explaining the detail in the video. And yes, the actual game, maybe it was a little early, but still okay. So just the gold, the rook here first, and going up the gold. This order was also possible. So breaking the rook here is very important. So this was also possible, but the actual game I went up the silver. Not going up the king and playing these moves first was also possible. Then I can choose if I go up the king or not. Here I can just play this. If he pushes the pawn, then it will be similar. And if he pushes the pawn here, then I go up the silver. And this is a little different. I can choose the king's position. but it's still okay. So this move means that in this position, if the gold was still here, there is this counterattack. I don't know if the rook escapes once or dropping this immediately. Maybe escaping the rook once if the gold is here. Then if I take the pawn, then the silver drop will be strong. The rook can't keep this file. So, but the actual game, the gold stays here. I think he thought if he just plays this, then I can drop the silver already. If he dropped the silver, I can't simply break yet, but he can't take the silver. So maybe he thought this position is bad, and he tried to do this. If I drop the silver, maybe the bishop drop here or something, and he will try to do a counterattack. But since he lost one pawn, dropping here, I played slowly. And this was a little too much because it's near the king. So this is a strong attack, but it's also risky. And if he drops the silver here, if the gold goes up, then the silver will come here. Taking this silver and dropping here. Oh, I'm going back to gold here. I wanted to think if he drops the silver here. I will stop here, and if I can, I take and drop the silver. If it's too risky, I will go back the gold. Anyway, I think I'm a little better here. And this is a good tesuji. If I take with the gold, then this knight comes, and this is too scary. And I can also jump the knight, but the king can't escape anymore, so the silver will be much more stronger. So I ignored. If it uh, if he takes all, the actual game he escapes the king, but if he takes all, if he takes with the gold, I can promote the rook, so he should take with the king, but it's too dangerous. I can, for example, drop the knight. If he takes, there's a fork of the bishop. If the king goes back, then the pawn drop here, like this, for example, and my attack will always continue. So maybe from here I got a clear advantage. And if the rook comes here, the bishop drop here is severe. If the rook goes here, then the bishop here. If the rook goes back, then there's already ready-made. If he drops the bishop here, which means if my gold escapes, then the rook can come here and the bishop is protecting against the bishop drop, but I will drop the bishop here or here, and the situation doesn't change so much. Okay, and I finally won the game. So it was a good example of the Kakugawari. Yes, let's move on to the next game. So I think I will end this live stream at 9 o'clock in Japan time. So 50 more minutes, three or four games, I think. So in the first live streaming, I made some big click miss in the important position and some big mistakes in the end game, but today I'm playing a little better. But the second opponent was just strong. I'm Gote, the opponent is Sandan. 3 dan, and again, yes. Maybe he's in the train, I think. Just going for work. Four done. So in this time control, there are a few 7 dan, and almost the highest level is 6 dan, I think. So I don't often play against more than 5 dan, even if it's not in the morning. So here, I don't want to play Yoko Fudori as Gote, which is too scary against Aonoryu, so I will play again Gangi. Or now I can play Yagura. So I didn't play Yagura, so I'm not so used to play as Gote, but I will try. I'm a Nakabisha player, I'm a Furibisha player, but before I was playing Ibisha. So I can play all the strategies. Just a slow game, just a slow Yagura game. Regarding his playing style, so now I decide not to play the normal Yagura and play Gangi. The reason is that he didn't go up the gold yet, and he can create this fast Yagura shape, and I can't do that, and I don't like that position, so I will explain later. Now I decided to play Gangi. The bishop exchange is okay. I can just play a slow game. Let's see the bishop exchange game. I don't know what he's doing. Going up the gold seems natural, but I don't know the reason he played this. But it's okay. I will just play naturally. I don't need to do anything. Already pushed the pawn here. Hmm. I want to go up the king, and he will probably push the pawn to 3-5. Oh, the bishop drop to the edge is also safe. Maybe it's safe to choose this, but I'm not sure.
7分
Maybe I should have played this move before the rook here. The order is always I can't understand the meaning, but I can punish with the gold, but I don't need to do that, I think. I want to play a normal shape. So I let him just take. Now I can. I wanted to do that, so. It's still okay to take this pawn, I think, but I think I can take the pawn.
5分
I Maybe it was a little dangerous. There were several moves. I was afraid. I just want to push the pawn here. Taking the pawn and push the pawn is also possible. So I don't have so much time, so I need to play quickly from here. I want to drop the bishop here. Hold the lance drop here. Maybe I played too carefully several moves ago.
3分
So now it's already an endgame, so the material doesn't matter so much. The silver here or here?
2分30秒
I will drop the pawn in the next move. Now it's almost over.
2分
Maybe it was a little dangerous. The bishop could take this. But the king escapes and okay, so let's review the game. So it started from this position. If he pushed the pawn earlier, maybe I played Yagura. And here, he's probably playing rapid Yagura, which means, sorry. This kind of Yagura shape. And I always create the normal Yagura shape, but he had the option to quickly end the castle with this move, for example. And I didn't really want to play this. As Gote, I should wait. Always wait. So I played Gangi from here. But this is... But I don't know why he did this kind of move much more times. I can just go up the gold and go up the king, but I wanted to show a normal game, so and now it was a little difficult. The move order. I thought the rook wasn't bad, but a little scary. So maybe jumping the knight and going up the king was better, I think, or just going up the king here. I wasn't sure. And the bishop drop. Usually I do this, but this attack comes, and if I go back to gold, it will be an exchange of the horse and some general, the gold. So yes, this isn't so comfortable for me. I will also lose the knight. I wanted to protect this way, but the silver comes, and it doesn't make so much difference. If I go back to gold, then he will sacrifice the horse and go up to silver and drop the pawn. The gold or silver, I don't know, but and it doesn't make so much difference. So I wanted to trap that bishop, but and I thought I cancel. I went back the rook here, but maybe it was a little dangerous. But instead, if I go up the king here, then again this pawn push is possible. If I go up the silver, then the pawn push here, and if I take, he will drop the pawn here. If I drop the bishop here, maybe it's possible, I think. Seems like the opponent is better, but I also got 2 pawns in hand, so maybe this is possible. Or going up the king, and if he pushes this pawn, protecting with the gold. If there's nothing here, I can attack from this move and use the gold for the attack. So this is also a little risky for the opponent as well. He should create an attack here. Maybe the king up was better, I think. So I just erased the horse. And I don't know what it does mean. I can always go up the gold and go up the king. I don't know why he's playing this way. And the bishop was too careless. Now I can trap the bishop. But here it was, I wasn't sure, but this is okay. I don't know the meaning of the pawn drop. Just the pawn push here was better. Maybe I could have played this way, gold up here. I didn't find anything very scary here, but since he used the pawn here, I thought I can also take the pawn, but it was a little dangerous idea. Maybe I should have played just this way. It seems scary, but there's nothing after chopping the rook. Only with two generals. Maybe it's not enough to continue a really strong attack. But I just took. I was afraid of this move and sacrificing the rook somehow. Eh, I don't know if he takes the gold or silver and ends this move. I was a little afraid of this, but the rook comes here and I thought I can defend against his attack and the counter attack will be faster. I thought maybe I'm right, so it's okay. But the silver was a little heavy. But here there were this pawn drop here. The rook here, the promoted silver here, and this rook can escape here. But I will just escape the rook somewhere, probably here. And then the promoted silver comes here, and then there's this bishop I can promote here. So maybe still it's not so bad for me. And this was a little too slow, I think. Now I have two bishops, and the counterattack is severe. The bishop drop was also possible, but and from here I think there was nothing. I don't know why he played this pawn drop so many times in this game. Okay. So maybe the next one is the last game today. Oh, the screen. Again, 4 done. Finally I encountered the Uribisha. I would just play naturally. There are some quicker attack, but hmm. So if I exchange the bishop, it's just a slow game, and they usually close the bishop's diagonal here once they see my server going up. But he didn't play this yet. Just a little unusual, slightly. I don't mean it's bad. So here maybe I can show a good move. But I'm still thinking if it's correct. There's a good move to remember. I'm checking if it really works. This prevents to push the pawn. Oh, now I understand why he pushed the pawn here. He wanted to jump the knight. He will surely jump the knight here, and now I need to think carefully. I thought about this move as well, but I thought it's a little dangerous. Maybe the knight jump was better, and I wasn't quite sure what to do. Usually this is not so good, but I don't know what he will play in this position. If the bishop takes, then I can take the pawn on 5-5. If the rook takes, exchange everything and drop the rook. Maybe here was better. He drops the rook probably, but this bishop is too strong. The knight drop and sacrifice the bishop and take the rook. Maybe he did a mistake. It seems too dangerous for me. The knight drop and sacrifice the rook. Full drop. Take the knight. But I don't need to hurry. Now it's safe, so sacrificing the rook and drop the silver or a gold here.
7分
Maybe it's the clearest way. He resigned. I will drop the gold there. Okay, so maybe I will play one more game. Just quick review. Usually when the opponents see this move, usually they will close the bishop's diagonal or here, but he didn't play this. So the silver to 5-5 is a usual move, but without a gold on 5-2, maybe I made a mistake. And instead, what I should have done is just pushing the pawn to 3-6 and jump the knight, or closing the bishop's diagonal, which aims the silver going up here. So usually this move is better, but the gold is staying in 4-2, so in this case it failed. So the pawn push didn't work so well, but the knight jump was too scary. I can't avoid the rook exchange, so in this position I didn't find anything good. Probably this position is bad for me, but I would, for example, play this way to protect against the rook drop and drop the pawn here, but there's something for sure, and this position isn't good for me. I can't take the knight, but still it's bad for me. The rook promotion, for example. Mm, Here or here. I can't escape here. The bishop will attack the rook. So maybe usually this shape is good, so I did this move without thinking, but it wasn't good. And his mistake was pushing this pawn. It usually works. If I take with the silver, then the bishop exchange of the pawn push. Ah, hi. But yes, this attack worked. If the bishop takes, then I take the pawn, and this pawn drop is severe. If the rook comes here, just taking and promoting the pawn is enough, and also bringing back the bishop is also good. If the bishop goes back, drop the silver or promote the pawn. And from here he should have played uh, the bishop here, but after taking the knight, there's no rook drop here, so but if he drops the rook here, then it's still difficult. I don't know what to play. Maybe I go back the dragon here and it will be a long game. He should have played this way. After the gold, I'm clearly better. Maybe he forgot this move and the bishop promotion here and take the rook with the dragon after the silver drop here. Okay, so I will play the final game. Hello. So this is the final game today. So many people play with 3 minutes, so not many people play with 10 minutes, but for the commentary, it's better to play 10 minutes. It's usual to take time for the matching. It's a little long. I will try again. So the last opponent is Sandan, 3 dan. And today I always play Ibisha. Yes, there are not many 5 dan and 6 dan in this time control. Maybe in the night in Japan time there are more players, but it's too late in other countries' time zone. So I pushed upon. I don't always push upon here, but okay. So he wants to go up the gold or bring the rook here. So I will change the strategy. So this is one reason I went up the silver here. So now I will play carefully, very carefully. I'm thinking if I can jump the knight here in this timing. I think I can. So switching to Nakabisha is a strong way against Millennium, so I didn't want to play Millennium. And the pawn push to 5-4 was a little unusual move, and I thought that aim, so I changed the strategy. So my castle is stronger than the opponent because of this gold. So I need to just play carefully. Until the castle will be ready. If I push this pawn, there will be an exchange of the pawn here. The bishop here, so... It seems a little dangerous just going back the road. Maybe he will jump the knight here. Oh, he didn't. The order is important. The rook first. If he goes up the silver, then I push the pawn and use the bishop to 4-4. I can also take with the pawn. Yes, maybe this is better. And taking with the knight was also possible. But I choose this. So the gold is still protecting, so it's scary, but there's no attack yet. This pawn once is very important here. So the initial aim for the opponent is dropping the pawn here. If I take with the knight, then drop the pawn here to trap the knight, but I dropped the pawn here, so now he can't drop the pawn here. This is why I dropped the pawn. And now it became easier. I just push the pawn, block the bishop's diagonal, and promote the pawn. I don't need any difficult moves. But the middle game was interesting. I wasn't quite sure, so the final position was a little easy, but Sometimes I go up the bishop without pushing this pawn. Both are possible. Yes, I want to choose the time zone where more strong 5 or 6 down player are playing, but as a live, it's a little difficult. I need to adjust for the time zone with Europe or the US. So it's late in the night or in the morning. If I jump the knight here and so sorry. Well, I thought this move and I already realized that if I just continue the Millennium, there are two attacks from Gote. First, the gold climbing up to 6-4. This is one strategy against Millennium. And another way is just like the actual game. If I just create Millennium this way. So Millennium is a strong castle, but against the bishop exchange, it's too weak, too biased, not a good balance. For example, if I go up the silver, then the bishop drop and the pawn push here. Just an example. But yes, again. Millennium is only strong without the bishop exchange. For example, another example. There's always weakness. So I can't use all the generals for the defense, which is the strongest point of the Millennium. I need to keep the gold or the silver on the right side, and the castle can't be fortified like non-bishop exchange game. So I didn't want to play that. I wasn't sure if he's playing this gold or the rook here. Then I play the normal silver crown shape. So now, if he just plays slowly, for example, like this, sorry, for example, like this, then the gold position is too bad. My castle will be much stronger than the opponent, so just like this way. This was also possible, but the gold isn't a good position, and my castle is stronger, so this is also possible, but he didn't want to play this and wanted to attack quickly. But yes, it was a little too much, the attack. Probably he should have just jumped the knight here. I don't know if I go up the silver or go up the gold safely, for example. I wasn't sure what to do after the knight jump. If I push the pawn too earlier, then the bishop exchange, not soon, but after the pawn drop here, the bishop exchange happens on 5-5. Or now he can push the pawn, probably. If the rook comes here, then drop the pawn here. If I take with the knight, the rook comes here. I can also go here, so I don't know if it really works, but maybe he should have just jumped the knight here. Or just dropping the pawn here and exchange the central pawn. Maybe the attack was a little early. I think I could. Yes, this pawn was important. Without this pawn, if I take with the silver, then just like the actual game, this attack, the pawn drop here was strong, but I can still do this, but the silver is hanging, so I can't promote the rook. The silver will be taken. So I drop the pawn here. And from here it was clear. There's no more attack from the opponent. So the middle game was a little difficult, but yes, I wanted to show the reason I didn't play Millennium and the silver, go up the silver. If he does this strategy, for example, then I will quickly attack, do the rapid attack. The gold shape isn't very good, so or wait one more move somehow, jump the knight or something, and after the gold comes here, then I will try the rapid attack, for example. This is also a possible game, but yes, not going for the millennium was my strategy. Yes, so this is all for today's live. Yes, I lost against the undefeated 10Q or 9Q, 20, 20 or 21 wins in a row. He's a good player, and he had more experience of the static rook. But it was also an interesting game, and especially for those who play Murata system or Ureshino-ryu. My countermeasure is always strong, but against that he played a new strategy to create the silver crown. It was interesting. I will study that later. Okay. So thank you. I'm planning to do this live streaming regularly, and like this time, I will fix the opening for each time. So today I played only static rook, and I played the Gangi, and Kakugawari, and against Fulibisha. So I could show many different games. So maybe next time I will play ranging rook, third fire rook or fourth fire rook. I don't know, but I will inform on the Discord maybe in the next date. And also later I will create a video, the quick summary of the Tetsuji I and the opponent used in the game. All the more deeper analysis with the interesting games. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.